It's the all-California clash for the first time this season between the Oakland Roots and Orange County from Pioneer Stadium in Hayward. Happy to have you with us for this one on ESPN+. Alongside MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malfa. Ricky, as you take a look at the standings, these two teams at opposite ends right now. Orange County flying high to begin the year, Oakland fighting their way from the bottom.
It's going to be very interesting for this Oakland Roots side. What does the reaction look like after losing at New Mexico in front of your home faithful? First 10 minutes, right? How quickly can you get in rhythm and really kickstart this era under Gavin Glinton in front of your home fans here?
They haven't gotten that result yet under Gavin in this new era. It's a couple of losses and a draw, but three very difficult opponents, all three on the road, all in the span of 8 days. How about that for your first week as an interim head coach?
But you've also seen glimpses of what this side can be, and the confidence starting to grow for players higher up the field, whether it's Rodriguez, whether it's Jai or Trayvon Reed. How do you get them more confident in the final third to find that final action? Because that's the last thing for the Oakland Roots. And I do think at home against a very good Orange County side, it's going to be a big challenge.
Now the question is, who is the specific player who needs to step up, help get that first win in the Glinton era?
I think you started the pair in the center of the park, Gomez and Riley, right? That balance needs to be very good. As one goes, the other one stays. So I do think you won't be surprised if we see Camden Riley have the ability to stretch the back line and make those runs out of midfield. But it all comes down to Gomez. He needs to stay as that security blanket right in front of that back three.
Orange County's been outstanding in the midfield this season, and defensively, that's their strong suit. You take a look at some of the numbers, goals allowed, shots on goals allowed, clean sheets, among the best in the league, but it's been a little bit slower out of the gates offensively.
And that's the next step of progression for this Orange County side. I do think you look at the center of the park, whether it's Jaffa, whether it's Scott, how do they dictate tempo? How do they settle into this game? And I will not be surprised if you see Orange County play a little bit more direct to ask questions of Oakland Roots early on.
And when things have clicked offensively for Orange County, it's been because of Tomas Amang leading the way in 3 goals for this team this season.
I think you look at his work rate, the ability to get on beyond the back line of opposing back lines, but he's really good at finishing, whether it's right foot, whether it's left foot. He can score every type of goal in the book, but I do think the question for Morten Carlson is, what does his service look like in Thomas Amang? Because he's shown he can be a game changer going forward.
It's the first in the season series between Oakland and Orange County here in 2024, and it was a fun season series in 2023. We hope for more of the same. They played twice, they combined for 7 goals in those 2 games, and they took a win each. It's Oakland and Orange County next on ESPN+.
The only way to win is to do it together. That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Oakland Roots have teamed up. We are leading the charge to address food insecurity, empowering all athletes to improve physical health, and expanding the health and wellness resources available to the residents of Oakland and the Bay Area. We're committed to continuing our work to improve the lives and health of our community together. Visit oaklandroots.com/anthem to learn more.
Do you like getting cash back on your credit card? A free coffee when you fill your cafe's punch card? A complimentary dessert with your restaurant order? Then you'll like getting a 5% discount on your electricity with Ava Community Energy's Bright Choice service. Visit avaenergy.org to learn more about Ava's low rates for electricity.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. This isn't a hobby, it's a lifestyle. You find diamonds in the rust. You put your own stamp on stock parts, turning metal into murals, and detailing every detail. Because it's the things you make that show what you're made of. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
Tonight's match is presented in part by Anthem Blue Cross and Modelo. Take a look at the starting lineup tonight, beginning with Orange County. Morten Carlson's side looking to rebound from a difficult loss against Louisville.
And I do think the reaction is going to be the point of emphasis here for Morten Carlson. You look at that front two, Amang, and Sorto. Sorto might pop into that pocket, but Amang, he's going to stay high. He's going to occupy the center back. So you have Dunbar and you have Alaski, so that can quickly turn into a line of 4 higher up the field. And you're looking at that back 4. Clean sheet's going to be the objective, and how compact and keeping everything in front of them can they be?
On the opposite side for Oakland, we see a few different pieces around the chessboard here, especially Riley, you'd mentioned in the open in a new spot, and Jai pushed further up the field. Different look from Gavin Glinton tonight.
And I do think it comes down to fluidity, confidence, especially higher up the field. Rodriguez, he's going to be the spearheading the attack. So you have Jai and Trayvon Reed, very direct in their movement, can beat players 1v1. But I talk about that balance in the middle of the field. Gomez and Riley, that needs to be spot on. Look for them to settle this game in and quickly get into rhythm for the Oakland Roots.
And there's so much versatility for the Roots, where you can have Hackshaw step up and Rasmussen cycle back. A lot of different guys who could play in a lot of different positions. It'll be interesting to see who ends up where on a moment's notice. It's Orange County in the orange from left to right. The Roots from right to left in their black and mosaic. Maria Servando Rico in the yellow, setting the watch and ready to send us on our way here in the Bay Area. First meeting of the season between Oakland and Orange County is underway from Pioneer Stadium. Happy to have you with us this evening on ESPN Plus, along with Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Joe Malfa. Curious to see the response early from Orange County in this game. They spent a lot of time in the film study this week. According to head coach Morten Carlson, incredibly unhappy. Can't really say a lot of the words that were said in our conversation about their loss to Louisville last week. Really just came down to the effort and a lot of mental errors, the will to kind of just perform their tasks, stay within themselves. He said a lot of guys sort of freelanced in a way and weren't pulling in the same direction, and it led to a recipe for disaster against one of the teams that's clicking on all cylinders right now in the East in Louisville.
Yeah, they had a really difficult time dealing with the initial press from Lou City, so I do think a point is going to be for Morten Carlson. How clean can you two center backs be on the ball? At breaking lines from the Oakland Roots side, already you see 2 minutes in how deep the Roots will be sitting. All 11 players deep in their defensive third.
Oakland coming off that loss against New Mexico. They went down 1-0. They tied it in the second half 1-1 before a late free kick for New Mexico won it. So no results yet in the Gavin Glinton era that have ended with 3 points. But a 2-2 come from behind draw against San Antonio on the road. A 1-0 loss against an MLS side in San Jose on the road in Open Cup. A 2-1 loss on the road against the second place New Mexico team. So 3 incredibly difficult opponents, 3 very tight games. Saw some very positive moments. He was very happy to finally be at home. Gavin Glinton, obviously he's been at home as an assistant coach, but not yet as the interim head coach. He was excited to fill this role in front of these fans, feel the energy as the head coach. And it was nice to not be on a flight this week, he said. That was the main thing. Slipped through toward Rodriguez. Rodriguez just went down. He took an awkward step at the end of that lunge. You could see him just look toward the sky in disgust. At first, I thought it was just because they had missed the moment. But then he went down on his own, and that's a worrisome sign here for the Roots. That is not good body language from Johnny Rodriguez.
Three goals on the season thus far, so he's always going to be an important piece going forward. As you take a look at it, just awkwardly, as he lunges for this ball, knows exactly, because as quickly he turns his head, looks at the bench. Not what you want if you're the Oakland Roots this early in this match.
This injury timeout brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross. Anthem is transforming healthcare by improving the health of our local communities. Still just shaking his head, trying to walk it off, very visibly frustrated. eye on that. Not only the importance of the player, but when it happened. We're not 4 minutes in this game yet. Focal point of your attack. Just looks different when he's out there versus when he's not. Carry on now with Oakland down a man for the time being. Here's Novell Hackshaw. Already stepping up into a more advanced role when they have the ball. Kind of ahead of that back line. We thought Njai would be on the left, and it's Trayvon Reed on the left and Njai on the right. We said there'd be a lot of fluidity here for Oakland. We're already seeing it a handful of minutes in. Rasmussen. Hackshaw committed the foul last week against New Mexico that led to the game-winning free kick goal. It was an awkward moment. We're defending 5v1, so they had the numbers, but he just came through awkwardly, committed the foul. Paul Blanchette beaten at the near post. Like to forget for Paul Blanchette, one of the few for the all-league goalkeeper last year. Giveaway out of the back, a couple of minutes in, Greg Hurst chipped him, no problem. After he got caught playing out of the back. This one played in behind, flag comes up.
Those are the types of runs that you expect from Amang, just off the shoulder of Hackshaw between him and Logue. Always going to challenge the back line of the Roots. So passing players off and communication needs to be spot on for the two center backs from the home side.
Rodriguez came back on the field and went down again. And you can only read that one way, and that's that his night's probably done.
Seems like going on to that left hip flexor area. Now,
question two.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting now for Gavin Glinton.
You've got Dom Dwyer on the bench, who's obviously the big acquisition, but they haven't debuted him yet. He did not play at all last year, Dom Dwyer. So it's going to be a build-up for him where you can't imagine they would have liked to bring him on for more than 20 or 30 minutes tonight. So just because of where we are in the game right now, 6.5 minutes in, it probably isn't him. The most natural fit as the 9 would be Mishnaider Sheri. You also have Jessiel Cedeno, so there are some options. That's one thing that is an encouraging sign for the Roots, however. Early in the year, that wasn't the case. They didn't have this kind of depth. They were scrounging for players. They had to go down to a lot of the academy kids at times to just supplement the bench, but now they do have a legitimate bench they can turn to. Told it's going to be Mishnaider Sheri who steps on for Johnny Rodriguez as he's getting up and ready now. For now, playing down a man until they can make that sub. Rodriguez still down over at the bench, holding that left hip flexor groin area, rubbing it out, trying to walk it off, and just very disappointed. Wearing it all over his face. Hard to blame him. Natural human emotions of a sport like this. A couple of minutes in, and your day's already done.
It's going to be a different look now for Sheri as well. The target number 9. Number 9 that likes to bring players into this game as well, but can also run the channel. Maybe not as clever in terms of his movement between him and Johnny Rodriguez. It's going to be a big challenge. Not easy to come in 8 minutes into this game to get up the tempo, especially the warm-up, if any, that he had.
His 11th appearance of the year. 3 of those starts, has a goal. It came against San Antonio with his head. Terrific aerial threat. Those 4 goals he scored in CONCACAF Champions Cup for Violette of Haiti, the amateur side who upset Austin before losing to Club Leon, the eventual champions. All 4 of the goals he scored in that tournament as part of those that upset came in the air with his head. 2 against Austin and then 2 against Leon. Riley for Reed. And the free kick there, Oakland didn't get it. Turf Monster got Amang, and then Kagi got Dunbar. Jeff Hall, 25-year-old in his first season with Orange County. Jeff Hall. Dunbar gathered by Riley. 10 minutes in, we haven't really seen Orange County string more than a handful of passes together. And that was sort of the opposite issue against Louisville last week. They were stringing them together, but in the words of Morten Carlson, it was predictable. It was short, short, short. Louisville would jump it, go the other way. Now it's the opposite. They're looking longer, but they're not connecting.
Played right into the hands of Louisville City last week, this Orange County side. So I did think that they were going to play a little bit more direct into the feet of Thomas Amang, but yet have not really gotten any sort of rhythm. This Orange County side, we have not seen Scott Jafal get on the ball, especially on the road. Those are the two players that you want to settle this thing down and get your side a bit of confidence, because it's been all one-way traffic for the Oakland Roots here.
Left by Dogman. Roots throw. And Jai still over on that right side. And we thought he'd be on the left, Reed on the right. It's been the opposite way, but it's interesting nonetheless to see Njai push forward and exclusively operated as the left wing back so far this year. We're seeing some differences between the formerly Noah Delgado coach team and the currently Gavin Glinton coach team for the Roots, where shape's a little different. Some of the principles are still there in terms of the way they attack, but it's through a different shape. It's through guys in different positions, and those are some of the signs you see, Ricky, when an interim coach comes in trying to steer things in a different direction, put his own stamp on the team.
Also give the confidence to these players and give them the freedom to operate in spaces that they want to. I mean, 11 minutes in, we've seen Hackshaw step into the middle third and kind of created a little bit of an overload. So now you have more stability. Melo Diaz comes over Scott. So little wrinkles like that for Gavin Glinton. Been really interesting to see thus far.
Diaz looking for Cherie, flag stayed down. Bounce, saw it hang up a little bit. Riley, he goes down, free kick on the way for Oakland. And this is where, with Cherie in there instead of Rodriguez, after that early sub, due to the injury, maybe it's to your benefit. Lethal in the air, he's got to be the target now.
Have to be a little bit frustrating if you are Morten Carlson, just second to every 50-50 ball this Orange County side. We talked about them in possession, but also defensively. Have not been as stingy we've come to expect. A side that's only conceded 9 this far in this season. Have to do a really dangerous set piece for the Oakland Roots. Plethora of options.
It will be Njai whipping it in toward that back post, still loose in front, bouncing all around and bicycled away by Jafal, volleyed back in through traffic, and it's in the arms of Shuttler. Take a deep breath, back line of Orange County.
Nervy moments for the visiting side here. Sometimes it's not the initial ball, it can be the second phase that can hurt teams. Yet again, very sloppy from Kyle Scott.
I don't know that Morten Carlson is much happier with the start to this game versus the start to the last game against Louisville. More of the same.
Looking at the movement from Sorto and Dunbar. As the Oakland Roots side is stepping high in the build-out phase. So now, if you can play off the shoulder of Gomez and Riley in those half pockets, that's going to be the outlet for Orange County. But how do you find those players? That hasn't found the answer yet. This Orange County side.
Marcus Knackham, captain, back out there for Orange County. Missed a little bit of time, only his third start of the season now. 27-year-old from Norway, rescued by Dunbar. Scott over the top. Rasmussen had a weird read on it. Comes to Lamb. Owen Lamb distributes toward the back post. Header centrally. Jeffall lays it off. Sorto waits on it. And it comes through for Reed. Trayvon Reed at the 3v2. Reed with Cherie and Njai. Goes for Njai, put it behind him, and the attack goes away.
Those are moments that if you are
for Cherie, going for a goal would have been something spectacular, but not meant to be.
If you are Trayvon Reed, decision-making, timing of when you play this ball needs to be a little bit better. It's a 3v2. The number one principle now is you need one of the two defenders to engage. You need them to step off the line, and when they do that, that's when you can play into the path of Cherie.
The injury report brought to you by UCSF Health and UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital. It was clean for Oakland. Hope we didn't jinx it in that route, but it's only Johnny Rodriguez now. They're subbed off a few minutes in. A lengthier list, though, for Orange County on the opposite side as they've struggled with some injuries this year. Orange County, whether it's from the jump or even as of late, they've had a few, some long-term, some short-term. Long lists for Orange County. Had that struggle, and it's really hampered them this year. Lasky, Sorto, Orange County throw, quarter of an hour in, still scoreless. Amang muscles off Rasmussen, able to get it through Logue. Been up there in basically every category defensively for the Roots. Low clearances, duels won, everything. Edge of the area, going for goal, it's Lasky! Blanchett had his feet weird, still punched it away, going away from his body. Forks it to still keep it 0-0. Almost looked like Blanchett slipped. Gomez looking for Reed, there to safety.
Player that Warren Carlson was extremely high on. Brian Lasky, the way that he operates in the pockets, really weirdly hit. The English that he has on it outside of his left boot really tests Paul Blanchett. Not convincing whatsoever from the Oakland goalkeeping. That was just enough to parry it away. But those are the pockets of space that you want this man to operate in, right in front of that back line.
Cherie wins it. Obviously, there's no way of knowing unless you have the exact sight line that Paul Blanchett did, but you wonder what he saw off the foot because he was going entirely to his left. Didn't seem like there was that much spin on it. It took no deflection. All of a sudden, he's reaching to his right and barely fighting it off. All's well that ends well for the Roots. Get away without any harm. Positive sign from Morten Carlson's group. Shaw long. First touch by Rasmussen for Reed, but he's off.
Really good idea from Rasmussen. This is back line for Orange County. They're retreating. Early ball. It's a nightmare for any defender to face towards their own goal. Trayvon Reed, you need to be a little bit more disciplined at reading the line. So yet again, it's a really good opportunity for the Oakland Roots to test that man.
Shuttler's been the guy for Orange County since the middle of last season after Cody Cropper retired. Goals against average below 1 last year, right at 1 this year. As a group, Orange County, that's been their identity, that's been their calling card. We chatted with Coach Carlson about it. It's really just a matter of structure and knowing their identity, everybody being on the same page, why they've been so successful defensively. giving up just a 1 goal per game. And really, it's better than that if you exclude the Louisville game last time out, which, in different words, you basically call a disaster for the group. It was 3 goals against on the road against the top team in the league. So if you sort of put your thumb over that one, 6 goals allowed in 8 matches, well below 1 goal per game. When they are on the same page and they stick to their identity, they're a tough team to break down, but it was the exact opposite last week, and it's easy to see that when they break apart in terms of being on the same page, they fall apart. So I have to make sure they're on that same page defensively at all times. He likened it to the overall direction of the team being one big arrow pointing in a certain direction, and every player within that arrow, a smaller arrow in and of himself. And you can skew a little bit left or right depending on, you know, moving over here on a play, moving over there. But overall, you have to be going the same direction. And he said last week it was just all sorts of arrows pointing east, west, in the opposite direction, not on the same page at all. And they suffered for it. Sorto. Good spot. Fine Dogman on the left side. Kyle Scott. Sofiane Jeffal. Dunbar. Dogman. Will keep it in, fronted by Diaz. Still Dogman. Gets the service to Amang. Can't leave him that open. A 4th on the season for Tomas Amang.
Talked about this type of play that can score every single goal in the book, but just watch his movement between both center backs. Rasmussen can't see him. Lowe can't get to him. Will take nothing away from the utter brilliance of a ball this is from Dogman. Lofts it up, textbook header from Amang. Low and hard, back across where it came from, gives you a chance. Not even a courtesy dive from Paul the Wall. And it's off to the corner to celebrate. Against the run of play, maybe. Orange County, Morton Carlson will take it 1-0 in the 22nd minute.
4th goal in the season for Amang. 2nd assist on the season, and only 4 matches now for Dogman. Another one of those guys they've missed due to injury, and you could see what he brings when he's out there and back.
The spatial awareness inside that 18-yard box, because so many times attacking players get near the line of sight of a center back, makes life very easy for them just to step up and win that aerial duel. Just so clever. You float between center backs. Now it's the lack of rotation, lack of communication. Now the Oakland Roots are down a goal.
We asked Morton Carlson about replacing Milan Olaski and all he's brought to this Orange County group the last couple of seasons. And in so many words, essentially, the verdict is you can't replace him with one player. It's got to be a couple of guys. Although the most natural fit to replace him is Dunbar, who's on the run right now. It slipped through for Dunbar, but Kagi cuts it out. Dogman steps to it. Dunbar again. Dunbar looking for Amang. Flicked away. Now further so by Riley. It's Dunbar who really has to pick up most of the slack, but outside of that, it's Brian Olaski, it's Tomas Amang, it's by committee finding different ways to score goals where Milan Olaski could freelance and he could create for you in just a magic moment. It's got to be a bit more structured now. It has to be service into Amang, and those are the moments where you see exactly what he can bring. Morton Carlson just called him a unit. Explosive, powerful, and maybe he has to take some more breaks in games where he'll disappear for a couple of minutes as he's sort of charging up, the way Coach Carlson put it. But when you find him, look out if you're an opposing back line. And again, it's Olaski now. Back for Scott. Orange County took that goal and has taken momentum with it.
Really good opportunity for Orange County to double their lead in a matter of moments. 4v3 of the way that action deserves, just to test Paul Blanchette. Scott, uncharacteristic, the way that he does not get any sort of contact on this ball, mishits it completely.
Gomez, Rasmussen. Memo Diaz, leader in appearances for the Roots, eclipsed the 100 mark a couple of games ago. He's called for the foul.
I think it's the initial action from Memo Diaz that catches Dunbar here. Right here, handful of the jersey as he follows through, because that's a clean challenge as he recovers well. But it's the initial one that gets him in trouble.
You asked Ricky, Gavin Glitton, his keys to the game for Oakland in this one, and he said it just comes down to tracking Orange County's movement. They move the ball really well, they get forward well, and you never really know where their runs are going to come from. So you have to be aware of everybody at all times. They lose the mark of Amang in that one moment, and they pay for it. It's almost like these coaches know what they're talking about. He said that's the key, and that's exactly where they were punished.
I think you look at the front four in terms of the movement for Orange County, whether it is Sorto, more of a pocket player that likes to operate in between lines. We've seen Brian Ilosky on the right side, left-footed, so always wants to combine through the interior. But then you have Dunbar and Amang, very vertical, very direct, and like to get in beyond opposing back lines. So it's a nice little balance for Morten Carlson in terms of the flexibility for an attacking unit. But now it's the next step of progression is finding more goals. A side that's only scored 11, well 12 now, thus far in the 2024 campaign. We expect that number to be a little bit higher for Orange County.
Yeah, coming into tonight, tied for 12th in the league in goals. They're among the best, though, in goals conceded. Tied for 5th in that regard, 2nd in clean sheets. And they were at their best last year after Morten Carlson took over as the interim. Of course, appointed full-time head coach now. When he took over, basically every game you saw either a 1 or a 0 in terms of the goals allowed. You've seen that for the most part this year as well. Considering their injuries and considering who they've played, happy so far, Morten Carlson, with where they are. Take into account they played Sacramento twice, a 2-0 loss and a 2-2 draw. They played Louisville, that 3-0 loss. Right there, top team in each conference. And you're talking about 7 goals conceded in those 3 games against the top 2 teams. So anybody else they've played who has been either equal to them or below them in the standings, they've taken care of business. And that's usually the sign of a good team, Ricky, when you not play with your food, so to speak, going up against a team below you in the table who you're supposed to beat. They're beating those teams. They're taking care of business defensively. It's just when they've gone to punch up to a Sacramento, to a Louisville, where they've struggled so far. But those are the teams you have to beat if you want to bring home the title. So long way to go before you talk about any playoffs or going on a championship run where they have about 6 months now to get on par with Sacramento and Louisville. Long way to go in this season. And they get an early taste of maybe what they need to improve on to get on the level of those 2 teams. But whenever they played anybody else, they've had no troubles.
I think you look at the schedule as well for Orange County. Yes, you're playing away at the Oakland Roots, but still in your home state. And then the next 2, you're playing at home against Loudoun United and Detroit City. So this stretch of games could be really interesting for Morten Carlson. If you can pick up 9 out of his next 3, you're sitting nice and pretty in this Western Conference table. And I do think he believes that, and he understands how important. Yes, it's still somewhat early in this 2024 campaign, but the potential is there for this Orange County side.
Sorto drives it, comes all the way through, and a foul called in the build-up. Sort of that catch-22 of this sport, Ricky, as a player, as a coach, where sometimes you have to smell the roses and be content with where you are, but you're always looking for more. 3rd place, had a lot of injuries, played an incredibly tough schedule so far. So there's room for disappointment there for Orange County, thinking they should be further along. But you take a step back, 30,000-foot view, and in some ways they're ahead of where they should be, considering the hand they've been dealt. You know they're going to get healthier. You know the schedule's going to get soft. Not that there's any easy games in this league anymore with the parity we see, but easier than going up against the likes of Sacramento and Louisville, of course. So you've got some of your toughest games out of the way. You're only going to get healthier, and you're only going to gel more as a group. Back for Shuttler, untested so far, no shots on target for Oakland. Cherie tested him for a moment there, striding through. Oakland at the opposite end of the spectrum right now from Orange County. Have not won a game since April 13th. 4 losses and a draw in league play since then. Pardon me, 3 losses and a draw. And you also bake in that loss against San Jose. So in all competitions, 4 losses and a draw since their last victory in league play. In the midst of that, parting ways with Noah Delgado. Season tickets are still available. Get the most benefits and lowest ticket prices by securing your season ticket package for the rest of the year. To secure your tickets, visit us at oaklandrootssc.com/tickets or call 510-488-1144. Penalty shout there for the Roots, and it's given at the edge of the area. A lifeline for Oakland. Marcus Knackham doesn't think so. Neither does Colin Shuttler. Not a ton of contact, edge of the area. And a half an hour in, the Roots have a chance to tie.
Play direct, you put this ball in an advanced position, and you really cause problems, and I'll tell you what, Knockham gets it before Reed. Clear as day, no foul whatsoever from the center back. You do feel that there is an argument to be had if you are Orange County. Frustration for sure.
I'm with you. Almost no contact. Pretty clear dive. No VAR to take a second look at it.
He also gets the ball first.
Oakland gets away with one. Now it's Reed stepping up to take it. Trayvon Reed against Colin Shuttler to equalize. Reed gets it through. Slight touch from Shuttler, not enough to keep it out. And Trayvon Reed has his first goal of the year. We're level at 1.
Positive touch from Rasmussen. And it's a rotation from Knockham here, but he gets the ball first. There's no foul whatsoever, in my opinion. The guy who draws the foul, Trayvon Reed, steps up, hits it with just enough power and venom to get it by Shuttler. As the goalkeeper, if you make any sort of play on this ball, any sort of contact, you expect to push it wide. Just enough for the Oakland Roots to draw this thing 1-1.
That is a $100 donation to the Berkeley Humane Society, generously donated by partner LJ Cruise Company. Donate or adopt a shelter pet at berkeleyhumane.com. Roots tie it up at 1. Catch a break, no doubt. Well, dark arts of the game, Ricky. You were a striker. Don't say you never did that yourself.
Never said that.
Sometimes you have to do what you can to provide a spark, and that's what Trayvon Reed did. Well, historically, when these teams meet, we see plenty of goals. 7 in the 2 they played last year. Dunbar comes through with it. Cameron Dunbar has some options. Still Dunbar cuts it back. Took a deflection and Gomez clears. It's Knackham down. Missed some time with injury this year. He's holding that left wrist forearm. thing we've certainly seen from Oakland in this new era under Gavin Glinton is just a fight and a resilience. Go back to that draw against San Antonio, Ricky. They're starting basically an academy side, and they end up going up 1-0 on the road against San Antonio. They concede twice in rapid succession, go down 2-1, battle back to tie it on the road. And it's one of the top teams we've seen over the last few years in the league. And then they hang in with San Jose into the late stages. And that 1-0 Open Cup loss. Last week, they tie it from behind against New Mexico. Now they tie it from behind against Orange County. It's become their calling card. A lot of fight in this Roots team. Shot. Sort of tilted the momentum back in Oakland's favor as well. Remember, before the goal was scored by Orange County, it's mostly controlled by the Roots. Diaz for Riley. Stumbled over the ball. Taken back by Ashton Miles. Doesn't seem to be a lot of connectivity through the midfield for Orange County. It's from the back line to the front line with no bridge in between. Amang still down on the far side. Reed. No obligation to play it out from Oakland. Amang still down. Crowd telling him to take all the time he needs. Earlier tonight, again, his 4th goal of the season. 5th in all competitions, scored an Open Cup. He is heated on his seated position here. Didn't quite catch what happened as the ball left the area. Right there, maybe Diaz getting the last touch into it. Getting that foot stuck in. That's a closer look. A toe stepped on.
Yeah, I think it's a follow through. Memo Diaz that catches Amang on the top of his foot. Don't think there's any ill will intent from the wingback for the Oakland Roots, but still, those hurt as a former player. And not fun. Like you said, Joe, since opening the scoring, this Orange County side really hasn't got a hold of this game and really impose their identity, especially in the center of the park.
To be fair, neither side has really done much in either attacking third. A lot of the game has been played in the middle third, which Oakland has controlled. Riley and Jai overlap from Memo Diaz. That's just over the line for an Oakland throw. Try from distance by Hackshaw. You know, center backs do have the eyes get open wide and try from a distance there. Although Hackshaw lately has played more in the midfield, so maybe he's getting more of a taste for it.
That's a rotation that I mentioned earlier under Gavin Glinton. The freedom for Hackshaw just to step into that middle third and be as that single pivot. The ability to read the game and step in at the right place at the right time. We've seen his ability to be on the ball. Spray balls from left to right with his passing range as well. Why not have a go? Just gets it all wrong.
Dogman had the assist on the Orange County goal. Lost it here to Diaz. Jai.
Just no real presence for Orange County in the pockets. I do think the player that most likely likes operating that's Brian Alowski, but he's playing on the right-hand side. So you want someone centrally. In a perfect world, if you are Martin Carlson, that is Sorto. He's also making those runs, those vertical runs. So now you have about 15, 20 yards between Kyle Scott, Jafal, and your 2 front runners.
Seeing a lot of disjointedness from Oakland through the wings as well. And Lamb, long toss, Hackshaw the first to it. Scott gets there, brought down by Gomez. His third season now, Kyle Scott in Orange County. Couple of years, FC Cincinnati, before moving to USL on this Orange County side. Nine starts last year, Scott. Starts his sixth tonight. We talk about Orange County not really having a foothold in the middle of the midfield. It's not like they're not playing their normal guys. Scott, regular starter last year. Jafal, a guy they brought over and counting on to be a big key player in the middle of the midfield. Started 9 games so far now this season. So it's not like that's the area where the injuries are. Their injuries have been on the back line and maybe further up the field. The midfield has been healthy. It just hasn't really clicked as of late.
I think you look at the spacing, because so many times, and I'm keying on Sorto, I think he's the key to everything. You want him to play off the shoulder of Gomez and Riley, because what they'll do now, they need to drop off a little bit because they have to be aware that he can hurt them. It's either that or the center back step up. One or the other happens. Now you have the real estate for Jafalta and Scott to pick up their head, and pick and choose what kind of passes they want to play, whether it's bypassing the initial pressure or it's just playing direct and beyond the back line. But so many times in Sorto, he's stepping with a really high, also really deep next to them. So it's mostly like a line of 3 for Orange County, and that's not what Warren Carlson would like.
Smithson looking over the shoulder, trying to shield it out. And he drew the foul. Brian Alaski commits the infraction. He's closing on a milestone for Orange County. 107th appearance for the club tonight. It's only a handful away from Michael Orozco for the most all time in the Orange County uniform. 112 the mark. 107 tonight for Brian. Dunbar. Scott to his left. Dunbar and a block by Hackshaw. Some passes strung together by Orange County. Yeah, they all count in the stats at the end of the night.
Yeah, they're listening to us. There you go. Higher up the field as well.
Beckham, Alaski, Owen Lamb for Brian Alaski. Cuts it long, looking for Amang. Brought back late for the free kick here for Orange County. Like the referee tried to play advantage on the ball sent over the top. Set piece on the way, and a yellow card for Trayvon Reed. Orange County saying, well, maybe that should have been his second yellow. First being the dive on the penalty that he drew.
Fans, your attention, please. A yellow card has been issued. To the Roots, Trayvon Reed. Card issued in the 42nd.
Reed drew that penalty. Scored it in the 31st minute. Oakland trailed only for 10 minutes before the equalizer. Shafal and Alaski standing over it. Two very capable service providers. Just a question of whether Orange County prefers the in-swinger of Alaski or the out-swinger of Jafal right now. They prefer the out-swinger. Jafal. Settled down by Dogman. Click back through. Falls for Amang. He was offside. do it. In the meantime, Dogman down. And Dogman now in his second season with Orange County, coming over from Norway. Spent most of his time in the Norwegian second division, a very versatile player. Can play left wing, right wing, left fullback, right fullback. He's found his home here as the left fullback. 30 starts, a goal and 3 assists last year. Already 2 assists and 4 starts, and this is not what you want to see. Again, for a team that has been ravaged by injuries early on, you saw the signal over to the bench for a substitution immediately from a teammate. Dogman has his head buried in his arms in the turf right now, and his day is done. So it appears, at least. Owen Lamb, the teammate who was signaling over to the bench to make a substitution, get a substitution ready. He's trying to get back to his feet, though, Dogman. So maybe it was premature, hopefully, from Lamb. There will be 6 minutes of additional time here in this half. Oakland has already made a sub due to injury. Just 5 minutes in, Johnny Rodriguez came off. Jogging off, Dogman.
Manager, attention please, the fourth official has just indicated there will be a minimum of 6 minutes of stoppage time in the first half.
It's a good thing that Owen Lamb's initial fear seems to be gone, because Dogman wants to get right back out there. He's already trying to signal the referee to get waved back out there. Up and ready at the halfway line. Now annoyed that he can't come back on yet. Still waiting for that signal. Back up over the top, looking for Rasmussen. Caught him wrong-footed. This is a positive sign to see that Dogman's going to get back out there. You start thinking the worst right there. I mean, he's got his face buried in his arms on the turf. A teammate comes over, signals for a sub. And he's ready to get back out there a minute later. Has not faced a shot on target from the run of play. Only the penalty for the Roots. Amang for Alaski. Lamb. Knackham. Dogman seems to be moving all right on that left side. Keep an eye on it. Good thing for Orange County is it's close to halftime, so they can evaluate it in the locker room, and if they have to take him off, they won't have to burn a window to make that sub, which would be massive. Sordo. Lamb finds Amang. Amang and Hackshaw going at it. Amang also scored last year when these teams met. That 3-1 home victory for Orange County. He got the game winner. Milan and Bryan both scored on that night for Orange County as well. Now Logue with his shoulder through the chest. Brian Alaski, on say the officials. It has been a very physical game. Perhaps the least physical thing that has happened was actually the penalty drawn by Oakland. Oski shaking the cobwebs after that one. And he is not happy about it. He was lined up by Niall Logue.
Just turns the corner, Brian Oloski.
Boom.
That's a foul.
100%.
Like, no question about it. Dropped his shoulder. Especially with moments ago, you know, he got called for a foul. Robinson just, Trump said he lowers his shoulders. Intent there from Logue. No play on the ball whatsoever.
Seen Charles Woodson of the Oakland Raiders lay softer hits than that. That was great technique by Logue. Shoulder through the chest. Great technique if it was the other football, the American version. We carry on. Last couple of minutes of first half stoppage. The only problem now is you don't want that to start turning into the players policing themselves here. That's when the game can get out of hand. First meeting of the season between two in-state rivals. Over the last 2 years, it's been a very heated back and forth rivalry. Over the top now for Gomez, snatched by Shuttler.
Really good ball from Hackshaw. Enough weight. Technical ability to drop in this ball right behind this back line. And those are the types of runs that if you are Gavin Glinton, you want from your midfielders. So difficult to track. Able to get any sort of contact on this ball, but good action from the Oakland Roots.
Oski did keep it in. Well done, Amang. He's taken down by Logue. Oski maybe still thinking about that last one. Amang, here we go. Started thinking it might go this way after the last few minutes we've seen. Buckle up for the second half. See if it produces any cards. Doesn't look like it will. That was a foul. That was a foul.
Comes in late once again. The ball's gone. The second time now that Logue gets away with one. Oscar doesn't like it. Amang comes up, starts drawing. Now the message from both head coaches are keep your composure, keep your head. No need to get a silly, whether it's a yellow card or even sending off here.
Orange County a chance to have the last laugh here, what could be the final play of the half on the set piece. Jeff All for Sordo. Gomez looking long. And there's the whistle to end half number one. A lot to unpack from that first half. It ends 1-1 through 45. And we could have an interesting second half in store.
I think the message for both of these head coaches is how quickly can we get in rhythm. It's been very cagey, it's been very sloppy, especially in the middle third for Orange County. It's the spacing between that middle three, which is the heartbeat of your side. And for the Oakland Roots, get Sherry more involved. Extremely quiet since coming onto this game. Big 45 for both of these ball clubs.
1-1. It was the opening goal for Tomas Amang in the 21st minute. Trayvon Reed equalized 10 minutes later on the penalty. First time this year, Roots and Orange County meeting in the regular season. 45 to go, and things got spicy toward the end there. Buckle up. More to come here from Pioneer Stadium.
Oakland Roots Sports Club is back, and it's never been easier to get in the game. Season membership packages and single tickets start at just $25. Join us now at oaklandrootssc.com.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. It's your job to stock the city, restaurants and rooftops, bars and basements. Every corner store. And when it gets tough, you stay driven. Give it all you got, going nonstop with 20 stops. Because at the end of the day, Every single round is on you. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
How can someone so cute be so complicated? Someone so grown up still have so much growing left to do. We know kids aren't mini adults. Their still developing bodies and minds need specialized care, including physicians and care teams who focus on treating kids and only kids, which is why from everyday to emergencies, kids belong at UCSF Benioff Children's Hospitals.
Oakland Roots Sports Club is back, and it's never been easier to get in the game. Season membership packages and single tickets start at just $25. Join us now at oaklandrootssc.com.
Well, and Oakland and Orange County have met traditionally. We've seen plenty of goals, 7 in their 2 meetings last year, even more than that the year prior. They combined for 9 in their 2 meetings. What do we have in store in the second half of their first meeting of the season? 45 down, 45 to go. Roots 1, Orange County 1. More to come from Hayward.
You'll get it done.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Traeger up over the top. Tristan Traeger. It's in.
Opportunity here. The hits and a goal.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
Looks great. Oh.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
1-1 at the break between Orange County and Oakland, but plenty to look at around the league with some news and notes. Open Cup this week, 9 USL Championship teams in it, Ricky. That's massive for the league.
It's going to be really interesting because there is one matchup that two are going against each other. In the 11, Detroit City. Detroit City coming off a massive upset against reigning champs, Houston Dynamo. And as you see, the Charleston Battery and Sacramento Republic becoming the 10th and 11th club to start undefeated through 10 games. Fantastic stuff from Mark Briggs and Ben Pierman.
Fantastic stuff this past week from Aiden Stanley, your player of the week, joining this rest of the group in the team of the week. Augustine Williams up top in this team of the week. I mean, whatever team he's on doesn't matter. Whatever season it is doesn't matter. He's scoring. He's doing great things for his club. And Oluwakinyodi in the midfield for El Paso. Calvillo on the left side. It's some bright spots for El Paso and what has been a rocky start for them. That was something else to maybe add to the news and notes from the early portion of the year. Brian Clairhout last night parting ways with El Paso. It's been a rocky start to the season for them.
And it has only one win throughout the start of this 2024 campaign. As we're talking about a schedule, look at this for the Oakland Roots. Your two back-to-back at Tulsa, at Colorado Springs, who, by the way, are firing on all cylinders, and then play at home against the Rowdies, at Sacramento Republic, and then the struggling El Paso that we've talked about. Some big opportunities for the Oakland Roots, but you're going on the road 3 of the next 5.
And that game on June 8th against Tampa Bay Rowdies, that's part of that doubleheader with Seoul SC at Cal State University East Bay. Seoul kicks off at 4 p.m., Roots at 7 p.m. To secure your tickets, visit oaklandrootssc.com/tickets or call 510-488-1144. Now, we mentioned that Open Cup, 9 teams for USL Championship. Here's the schedule for the week. Tuesday, got 5 that feature USL Championship sides. New Mexico has to go cross-country against NYCFC too, but the form they're in, they seem like a quarterfinal team to me.
Talk about cross-country. Loudoun United back-to-back going to LAFC as we flip into Wednesday. All USL Championship one that I mentioned, but I do think an underrated one will be the Tampa Bay Rowdies against FC Dallas. Nico Esteves and FC Dallas struggling in league play, but Tampa Bay Rowdies, we know how good they are at Al Lang. And then Seattle Sounders at Starfire. Going to be interesting to see what Ryan Spencer puts out in terms of the lineup as they host the reigning USL Championship champions.
Tampa Bay Rowdies 5-0 victory tonight. So they are going into that game at Open Cup on fire right now. Our first half sort of ended on fire, not necessarily because of goals, but because of the tempers flaring between these two teams. We'll see if they've cooled off or we have more of the same in store for half number 2 between Oakland and Orange County.
Oakland Roots Sports Club is back, and it's never been easier to get in the game. Season membership packages and single tickets start at just $25. Join us now at oaklandrootssc.com.
The only way to win is to do it together. That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Oakland Roots have teamed up. We are leading the charge to address food insecurity, empowering all athletes to improve physical health, and expanding the health and wellness resources available to the residents of Oakland and the Bay Area. We're committed to continuing our work to improve the lives and health of our community together. Visit oaklandroots.com/anthem to learn more.
Do you like getting cash back on your credit card? A free coffee when you fill your cafe's punch card? A complimentary dessert with your restaurant order? Then you'll like getting a 5% discount on your electricity with Ava Community Energy's Bright Choice service. Visit avaenergy.org to learn more about Ava's low rates for electricity.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. It's your job to stock the city, restaurants and rooftops, bars and basements. Every corner store. And when it gets tough, you stay driven. Give it all you got, going nonstop for 20 stops. Because at the end of the day, every single round is on you. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
Oakland Roots Sports Club is back, and it's never been easier to get in the game. Season membership packages and single tickets start at just $25. Join us now at oaklandrootssc.com.
How can someone so cute be so complicated? Someone so grown up still have so much growing left to do. we know kids aren't many adults. Their still developing bodies and minds need specialized care, including physicians and care teams who focus on treating kids, and only kids, which is why, from everyday to emergencies, kids belong at UCSF Benioff Children's Hospitals.
Tonight's match is presented in part by Anthem Blue Cross and Modelo. Look at highlights from the first half between Oakland and Orange County. Early on, it took a while for these teams to get into any sort of rhythm, Ricky. It was a couple of set pieces that they threw into the middle, hoping for the best, pinballing around, but neither team really settled in until the moment that came in the 21st for Orange County. Playing through the middle, got it out wide to Dogman, and then did the rest from there.
And you just see unable to get any sort of rhythm. Half chances here, half chances there for either side. We look at, I do think, for Warren Carlson and Gavin Glinton, how do you get on the ball a little bit more, and how do you impose your identity on the opposition? That's going to be the key, especially in the middle of the park, right? Because that's the heartbeat of both of these sides. Whether it is Gomez, whether it is Riley for the Oakland Roots, Jafal and Scott, as we talk a little bit of individual brilliance, little step over, but it all comes down to the movement from Amang as he just peels off bottom of your screen, plays off the blind side of Lowe, so Lowe can't see him, Rasmussen can't get to him, and it's a textbook header. It's a really good goal to get his fourth in the season.
It really can't leave anybody that open, but especially not Amang, the form he's in and the quality player he is in the air. You be the judge. I think we both judged it, and I think anybody else who's watching at home judged it, but the referee judged it a different way, and that's all that matters in the end. Trayvon Reed converts to make it 1-1.
Really convincing the way that he steps up to this. Trayvon Reed hits it with enough power and pace to get by Shetler, because he's there. Just not enough contact to push it wide of his far post.
I don't envy Servando Hernarico, the referee. It's tough from that angle. It was sold incredibly well by Trayvon Reed, and from that angle on the field, it's easy to see why the call was made. But on second look, Oakland got away with one, but they haven't really gotten away with much else in this one so far. Nothing really doing in the attacking third, but they have controlled the midfield.
Yeah, I do think that's going to be the key to this match, and I will not be surprised if we see both of these managers dip into their bench to just give maybe a little bit of energy, quality in the final third, because this game has been box to box. No one has really taken it by both hands and really been the one that's been asking the questions.
Take a look around the league at the upcoming schedule as well. Heading into next weekend now. A lot going on around USL Championship. Any of these stick out most to you, Ricky?
Charleston Battery hosting El Paso Locomotive. That's going to be really interesting with just how quickly can El Paso rebound from the news. Rhode Island hosting Lou City and Indy 11. Fantastic win again against an up-and-coming Phoenix Rising. Starting to find their footing underneath Danny Stone.
Plenty more to come and the rest of Saturday. Sacramento, Birmingham, a cross-conference matchup. New Mexico, San Antonio, that's a big one. Memphis and Pittsburgh. Memphis all of a sudden has found some level of form. Pittsburgh, not their night with the 1-1 result against North Carolina. Tampa Bay, that big win. Getting a lesson here and banging the drum, starting them young here. Future supporters, section leaders for the Oakland Roots. Brian Alaski having a chat with the referee. A couple of moments in that first half where Alaski was on the wrong end of some physical challenges that left him unhappy. There was a change at the break for Orange County. Remember, Ryan Dogman went down in that first half. He was not able to continue. The good thing for Orange County is they're able to get in the locker room, evaluate him. Ashish Chadha will replace. And we're underway in half number 2. Oakland left to right in the black, Orange County right to left in the orange. 1-1 through 45 with Ricky Lopez Espin. I'm Joe Malfa. Glad to have you with us this evening from Pioneer Stadium. On two by Reed, testing Owen Lamb. Here's Cherie. Pings it back out to Rasmussen. On the same page as Reed. So both teams have used a sub each now because of an injury. Johnny Rodriguez came off a few minutes in for Missionaire Cherie on the Oakland side. Ryan Dogman off at the break for Ashish Chada on the Orange County side. Hackshaw, Njai. For Shuttler, quiet night for the keeper. Only shot he's faced on target, the penalty. And he got a fingertip to it. Dogman coming off. Seems like it'll bring Kyle Scott to this left back position for Orange County. Perhaps. Is there a natural fit in there, or is it going to be sort of a rotation now as Jeffal checks out that way?
And also look at the middle three. Look how deep Christian Sordo is playing, right next to Kyle Scott, next to him and Jeffal. That's what I'm talking about, the spacing. You want him to be a line higher to really unbalance the Oakland Roots. As he's so deep now, there's no connection, into that front line of Amang. That's why he's getting caught on an island when he does get the ball to him versus 3 Oakland Root players.
Sordo chasing Rasmussen and all the way back. Paul Blanchette. Margalashvili waits a little bit too long. He'll go retrieve it for the throw. Mark your calendars this Wednesday, May 29th. Not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. It's Monterey Bay against Eastern Conference leaders Charleston Battery, 10 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Shaw, physical through on Amang. Those two got nose to nose in the first half, as did Logue and Alaski. So it didn't take these teams long to kind of tap back into that rivalry. We'll see what comes of it in the second half. Chada, not what Amang had in mind, but he rescues it out for Dunbar. Center back pairing for Orange County. Injuries have sort of forced their hand on the back line most of the season. Got the 19-year-old Ashton Miles, 9 starts, been a consistent piece. Now finally alongside the guy you want him with, and Marcus Knackham, the captain, making his 3rd start of the year tonight. Sorto puts it sky high. Amang has it lined up. Falling for Scott, goes for goal. It's blocked. Might have hit his teammate Amang on the ground. Have to take a second look when we can. And Amang is still down holding his face at the near end of the field. Shuttler clears. Referee will stop it now for a potential head injury. Amang, see what might have happened. I think he got the back of Gagi's head. On that look, it was the back of Gagi's head, it seemed, going up in the header end. Amang is in a lot of pain. He just came over and he kicked over a cooler on the bench, holding his face. Bleeding from the mouth. A word from down on the field is that he had a tooth knocked out. Trying to stop the bleeding from the mouth right now. is going to be subbed off here. That is a tough break. Not only for Orange County, but just for Amang. Of all the things that can happen to you on the field on a given day. Going up for a header. And seemingly a tooth knocked out. They've got all sorts of towels on his mouth right now trying to stop the bleeding. Off in agonizing pain. Ethan Zubak takes his spot. More of attrition between these two sides. All three subs made so far tonight. 2 on the Orange County side, 1 on the Oakland side, all because of injury. It's nights like this, now that we're a few years removed from the rule change, it's nights like this that make you wonder how on earth we got through this sport with only 3 subs allowed per team. You never know what might happen on a given night, the injuries. If you were Orange County, you'd be down to your last sub already in the old way. Anyway, up the right side now. Owen Lamb back for Sorto. Looking back post, shot up. Trying to keep it in. Did stay in ultimately. Diaz got a touch to it. Down over at the bench, Amang still visibly upset. Walking away with the trainer now. Still a towel to his mouth to try and stop the bleeding. Zubak replaced. Amang. How does that change things up top now for Orange County? Different player profiles altogether.
A player that likes to be part of the build-up, right? He's very comfortable with the ball at his feet, but he's also very clever with his movement. So look for him to run the channels. Exactly those types of runs that you can expect from Zubak. Very clever. Maybe not the pace that Amang possesses, but can also play direct, can also beat players 1v1. He's a player that Morgan Carlson is extremely high on with the ceiling. You've seen how successful he's been in his young career. And how quickly can he get up to tempo? That's going to be a big factor for Orange County going forward.
Zubak coming over to Orange County after the last 2 years spent with Nashville in MLS. Oftentimes we'll see a player like that just find footing on a team like Orange County and ignite. They haven't had that yet, and with Amang in good form, he hasn't seen a ton of the field. All his appearances, or most of them, sorry, coming off the bench. 9 overall in the season. Only 3 of those starts with a goal. In the last 2 years in Nashville, a lot of it just spent kind of up and down, especially last year between Huntsville and Next Pro and Nashville and MLS. There was a lot of time on the bench, so he really never found his footing, found any long stretches of play. In 2023, not injured, but just only 14 appearances overall over the course of the whole year, all competitions, Nashville and Huntsville included. Can't find consistency, can't find a rhythm when you're not playing. Now coming over to Orange County, a great track record he has in his past with LA Galaxy 2. 2018-2019 back-to-back. He had 21 goals in those 2 seasons. And now yellow for Scott as he took down Diaz.
A bit of frustration from the center midfielder. Knows exactly what he's doing. Deserving of a yellow card. Watch the right leg that catches Memo Diaz on the follow through. It's late. So now it's going to be a big challenge in terms of his discipline and decision making, especially in the center of the park of this match. You look at this Orange County side, and you look at Zubak, you look at Amang, and the profiles that complement each other very well. And Zubak maybe is more of a link-up number 9, very comfortable. Amang will stretch the back line. Look at a 4-4-2 diamond. Could be really interesting as Zalowski has a true number 10 where he feels more comfortable. There's a plethora of options for Morgan Carlson as this season progresses.
Jai from the free kick. Hackshaw keeps it alive. Chips it toward the back post. Riley's there. Ends up in the goal, but the ball does not. Out for a goal kick. They'll have to readjust the netting. Came off center.
Game like this, so tightly contested, excuse me. Set pieces can be the difference. Really clever from Hackshaw up and over this back line to that back post area, and Riley just mistimes his jump. Jumps a little bit too early. As this ball arrives is when he's falling down from the jump. Unable to get it underneath the crossbar. A lot of traffic in front of him.
Over the top from Miles. Hackshaw tracking it over his shoulder. Gets there before Alaski. Long direct play between these two teams. Not much of it has really come off. Elsewhere right now in the Western Conference, Las Vegas at halftime up 2-1 at home on Louisville. Phoenix Rising just went to half up 2-0 at home on Miami. Interesting. Thought it would be a heavily rotated starting 11 for Phoenix ahead of their Open Cup match on Wednesday, but it was a full squad. If you could picture the best 11 for Phoenix in your mind, it was basically that. 2-0 at home against Miami, a team near the bottom of the Eastern Conference, so it's one of those interesting ones to go through as a coach in your decision making. Do you rest up for Seattle on Wednesday because you have an easier quote-unquote Eastern Conference team coming in, or you just not play with your food, play a full 11, pick up 3 points and move on? Also, and that's what they went with, and that's what they're getting.
And also getting a rhythm, get the confidence, which might be, if not one of the biggest tasks of the season, going into Seattle. You know how important, how respected the Sounders are in the U.S. Open Cup.
Gomez switching for Njai. For Logue. 10 starts on the season, Logue for Oakland. He's been consistent on the back line. Brilliant first touch by Njai. And he's able to win the corner off of it.
Really do like a little wrinkle with Gavin Glinton. Hackshaw plays into that middle part when they're building out, so they build out with a 3-back. So now you have the wing backs of Jai, Diaz, Rasmussen to provide the width and really challenge the shape of Orange County. As you're expansive, now you have the pockets of space for Gomez and Riley to operate in between the lines. Something we haven't seen under Noah Delgado in the Oakland Roots.
They wanted to go short on the corner. Jai trying to rescue it. Sent long by Chada. Mel Hackshaw scored last week against New Mexico. Try from outside the 18. It ricocheted off a defender's hand and went in. So it was either going to be a goal or a penalty for the Roots. No lose situation there, unless they would go on to miss the penalty, but beside the point, the ball went in, that's all that mattered. And Hackshaw added one to his tally. It really started the spark for Oakland on the road against New Mexico when Jesse Cedeno came on last week, more than a second. It's Gomez feeding it through. Reed unable to settle it. Kept alive by Rasmussen. Looking for Cherie, lets it go through. Chada clears. Diaz goes for goal, deflected off target. It'll be a goal kick. 2-1 to around this time now if Gavin Glinton looks for that same sort of change, bringing on a player like Cedeno. The whole game opened up offensively when he came on last week. Lino Mafeka available on the bench as well, and we're starting to maybe get into Dom Dwyer debut territory for the Roots. Word was that he can maybe go 20 or 30 as they look to integrate him and work him in slowly. Took last year off, the 33-year-old, after 2 years at Atlanta United at MLS. Took 2023 off. Joined the Roots a few weeks back now, working back up to full fitness. Player that, if and when he gets going, is a total game changer. Only year he spent in USL Championship was with Orlando in their title-winning season in 2013 before graduating to MLS with them after he began his career in Kansas City. In that year, 2013, he had 13 goals in 12 matches and then famously scored 4 in the final as they won the title that year, Orlando.
You start looking at Gavin Glinton in terms of the ability, the flexibility, and the fluidity to play with him and Johnny Rodriguez on the top line. You change formation. It's going to be really interesting to see how that works out once Dom Dwyer is fit and healthy to go 90 minutes.
I'd say they've been looking at a couple of different options up top and how they want to shuffle things with Dwyer and Mafeka and Rodriguez and Cherie and the whole lot with Cedeno. A couple of different looks they haven't shown yet, as we've been told, but a couple of looks they've been working on in the training ground that they're just waiting to unleash at the right time. Once the chemistry's there, maximizes all the talent they have up top now. Bryce Jamison ready to check on next for Orange County. Just pulled on the jersey over on the bench. Sordo, so acrobatically gets it. Alan Jai. Diaz all the way across. And Rasmussen rejoining. Reed, did he play it off of Nakam? He did. He rescued it in the end for a corner. Those two have had a storied night, Nakam and Reed. Remember, it was Nakam who got his hand caught in the cookie jar when he came in on Trayvon Reed. Drew the penalty and then converted the penalty. Diaz waiting over the corner. Diaz delivers. Hackshaw's there. Broke free. Shuttler came out, didn't get there in time, but Hackshaw put it off frame.
Nervy moments for Shuttler here. As a goalkeeper, how decisive can you be when you elect to come off your line to make sure you make any sort of play on this ball? You need to command your 6-yard box. Which enough for him. Hackshaw unable to get it on target. Because if he does, the Oakland Roots are in the lead here. It does seem like Hackshaw permanently in the middle of the field now. Going into a 4-back system for the Oakland Roots. Gaggi and Logue as the 2 center backs. Rasmussen and Diaz, the outside backs. Maybe a little change of formation to see this game out for Gavin Glinton.
See Bryce Jamison coming on now for Orange County. And the first 2 Roots subs are up and ready as well. Ziracoze Denaciano Ciel Cedeno, both up and ready for the Roots. First sub for Orange County will happen now. Yellow card to Zubak after the play. Jamison will replace Brian Alaski.
Substitution for Orange County SC coming onto the field.
Cedeno replaces Njai.
Number 10.
Camden Riley gives way for Jose Denaciano.
Substitution coming in the 67th minute.
Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest product specials and more. Select, player's choice. Stumble from Shuttler, played back, net's open. Shuttler trying to scramble back, Cedeno, was it over the line? It was not. Disaster for Shuttler, somehow escaping calamity. It's still 1-1.
Almost a big moment between Malcolm and Shuttler. You see the numbers show the Oakland Roots unable to get this thing off the line. Last-ditch defending effort from Jafal. Just see, unable. That finishing touch, it's the right knee. Fantastic stuff. And body control from the center midfielder.
More adventure now from Shuttler. They have to rein that in.
Doesn't seem really confident, the goalkeeper. 69 minutes into this match, whether it's coming off his line, commanding his box, and also just the decision-making, the communication with the center backs. After the Oakland Roots, you continue to put him under some pressure.
Diaz looking for Cedeno. Coming for Oakland.
Alcohol sales will end in the 80th minute. We're just about 10 minutes away from the conclusion of alcohol sales.
Graciano stuck in awkwardly.
Alcohol sales concluding in exactly 11 minutes.
Fall the worst of it. Graciano wasn't unscathed in his own right. And Charlie 2024 jerseys are here and selling fast. Purchase your 2024 jersey by visiting shop.oaklandrootssc.com.
Player that we have not said his name nearly enough for Orange County is Dunbar. Warren Carlson expected a lot of things in terms of productivity. The young man, goals and assists, has not made his impact felt whatsoever on this left-hand side. It's going to be a big challenge for 20+ remaining here for the visitors. How do you get him more involved, especially as Zubak is going to be spearheading the attack? Jamison on the other side, ability to be direct and stretch out the Oakland Roots. So now you have some pockets of space to come centrally. Maybe that connective tissue that we've been asking about from that midfield into that front line.
You alluded to it. They expect a lot out of Dunbar, and rightfully so. An incredibly talented player, the 21-year-old. Started his career in the LA Galaxy organization. From there, moved on to Minnesota and joined Orange County originally on loan last year before signing this season. Dunbar has been very unlucky with injuries. We thought maybe he was the missing piece last year for Orange County. Only made a handful of appearances in and out of the lineup due to injury. Never was able to even start a game. Everything was coming in off the bench because he couldn't go the distance. Now this year, starts the season as a starter, then picks up a knock, but he was coming off the injury, then he got hurt again. So it's just in and out, injuries stunting his growth, and prohibiting his ability to get into a rhythm in this attack, but they know how special he is once he can get going. Player who, in his time with LA Galaxy 2, his last full season in 2022, had 12 goals and 3 assists. Now, 2023 began with Minnesota. Again, similar to what we talked about with Zubac last year at Nashville. Last year in Minnesota for Dunbar, it was up and down between the first and second team. Never got into a great rhythm. When he did play with the second team in Next Pro, 5 goals in 9 games. So we know what it can look like for him. Injuries have just been an issue. Looking for a great way to enjoy the night out with friends, family, or coworkers? Check out the discounted group ticketing options for your next birthday or party. To secure your tickets, visit oaklandrootssc.com/tickets or call 510-488-1144. Oakland's lone shot on target in the second half came on that save off the line moments ago. Orange County still without one. A lot more control in the second half, though, for Orange County. 55% of the possession gone their way, but now plenty of space down this left side for Reed. Reed cuts in, Reed goes for goal. Gobbled up by Shuttler.
That's the hard part. First, he recovers this ball, and that's one thing on mine, just to go downhill. As he cuts inside, you just see there's 2 Oakland Root players on top of this 18-yard box. You need to feed that ball across, create an overload on this near side. A little bit selfish in that instance for Trayvon Reed.
Sometimes you'll bang the table and want a player to be selfish because sometimes the extra pass hurts you, but that was one to make the extra pass, and you're in much better shape.
I mean, how many times, whether it's this year or last year, Joe, that we've seen the raw talent that he possesses, but it's decision-making in the final third that continues to let him down. A player that can easily be in the double-digit range for goals and assists with the opportunities that he creates for himself.
We had a very honest conversation about Trayvon Reed with Gavin Glinton after he took over, and he said you could really see the maturity from last year to this year where you know he's getting to the final third, but last year, how many times did you see him swing and miss or make the wrong decision? This year, he's locked in. He's put in the extra work off the field and on the training ground, film study, all of that you want to see from a young player who's growing and got his first Jamaican senior national team call-up last November. Starting to put the pieces together, but you still see some moments like that where, okay, this week in film study, go back to that, see what you could have done better. And they know the top end for him could be pretty special in this league. Hasn't put it all together yet, but you see the glimpses and why they continue to have faith in him. 7th start tonight. Got his first goal on the penalty. Had an assist already. That was a couple of games ago against San Antonio. A brilliant ball outside of his right foot, put it into the path of Cherie, who headed it home. It's never a question of getting to the ball, getting in the attacking third. Just a matter of once he gets there, what's next?
I think that's the next step also for Cherie. The player that you know has all the physical talent and abilities to run with the pace that he possesses, but also it's the end product as a number 9. Yes, you want to be part of the build-up, but essentially you're getting paid to score goals, so you need to stay high. You need to make your living in around that 18-yard box. And how ruthless can you be? As you progress higher in this game, you get one opportunity. You need to make sure that you stick that ball in the back of the net. I do think Dom Dwyer is going to be a massive part of his progression, his development in an Oakland Roots jersey.
We've seen 3 changes now in all from both sides. Oakland made the first early. Johnny Rodriguez came off injured. And they made a double switch with Cedeno and Donaciano coming on. So they have 2 subs remaining and 1 window remaining. On the opposite side for Orange County, they've made 3 changes of their own in 2 windows and have the same 2 subs, 1 window. Run this is from Ashton Miles. Left a couple defenders behind. Delivery not on frame. A couple of guys running in, Sorto and Zubak. Split the difference and gave it away. And now Blanchette has it. A lot of frustration, it seems, from Hackshaw, trying to set up the shape in front of him. Matsoso shed the pennies and seem to be coming on next for Oakland, which would mean no Dom Dwyer tonight. First time he was available on the bench for Oakland, and it seems like we'll have to wait another week for the debut. Play this coming Friday against Tulsa. Diaz loops it in. Reed kept it in. Difficult one to do anything with after he rescued it. The momentum carrying him out of play. Hello, Diaz. Scott looking around. Supposed to run of Dunbar. Sort of wide open on the right side. Everything funneled this way, though, by Oakland. Trayvon Reed. Stop with Bryce Jamison. Plays it back for Donaciano. Away. Cedeno, overlap from Diaz. Cedeno.
Once again, it's a wrong decision from Cedeno, and he knows that once he takes that touch, essentially, this ball needs to be reversed into the path of Memo Diaz. The shot he commits. Watch this run from Memo Diaz as he takes that touch right now. That ball needs to be in the path. That's your right wing back, because if he does, it's a 1v1 between him and Sheltler. Little decisions like that have been lacking for the Oakland Roots. Doing very well getting themselves into that final third, but now what do you do once you're in that final third?
For Cedeno. Cedeno back for Diaz, left it short, taken by Dunbar. Rescued by Hackshaw. Comes off of last. Both teams pointing their way, goes Orange County's way. He's got the rhythm. Neither team has found it tonight.
It's the soundtrack of G-Eazy's new song coming out.
Here come those last two changes now for Oakland. 10 to go. Gavin Linton exhausting what he has at his disposal. Napo Matsoso, Lindo Mafika on. Danny Gomez, Trayvon Reed off. Reed drew the penalty and converted it back in the 31st minute. After Oakland trailed for 10 minutes. Been tied ever since. Happy to have you with us the whole way. With Ricky Lopez, Expedite, I'm Joe Malfa from Pioneer Stadium. First meeting of the season between these Western Conference in-state rivals, Oakland and Orange County. split the season series last year, both winning at home. Oakland 3-0, Orange County 3-1. Goals galore when they met last year. It could be said of the year prior. 3-2 finish, a 2-2 finish. These teams meet, goals typically follow. We thought it might be trending that way after a goal each in the first half an hour. Hasn't turned out that way. Rhythm's a word we've kept coming back to tonight, Ricky. Neither team has really found a way to string things together, cleanly get into dangerous positions. The numbers will say both have over 50 final third entries each, but not many of those clean, not many of those menacing. This is technically almost a final third entry right now for Orange County, but what did it amount to?
I mean, how many times have we seen, whether it's Paul Blanchett or Shuttler, have to make a really good save? My mind goes to that first opportunity for Brian Olowski in the first half, about 19, 20 yards out. Other than that, no real opportunities for either side.
Looks like we're going to see a debut for Orange County. Marcus Lee up and ready on the bench now. Just brought in a little while ago. 17-year-old from Rancho Santa Margarita, California. Yet to debut in USL, but he already has one claim to fame. He's the youngest goal scorer in U.S. Open Cup history. Scored as a part of Cal United Strikers 2 years ago. 15 years of age, had a goal and an assist that night, and it came Championship Soccer Stadium. That is also the home of Cal United Strikers. So, in what was then at the time the home of his future team in Orange County, now he scored his first goal, and the youngest to do so in Open Cup. So he's about to debut for Orange County. Mafeka. Cedeno. Looking for Cherie. They've lacked something tonight up there in terms of a dynamism without Johnny Rodriguez subbing off 5 minutes in. That's so-so. It's tough because you've game planned all week, playing a certain way with Rodriguez and the striker that he is with those runs in behind. And all of a sudden, 5 minutes in, you've got somebody else coming in who has his own set of attributes. Cherie, great in the air, powerful player, but it's not the same as Rodriguez. So what you've been planning for all week now goes down the toilet and you have to pivot. It just really hasn't worked out playing through the 9 tonight for Oakland.
I think it's so interesting when you talk about a number 9 in that position in terms of the movement, right? Because you can think of the movement from 30 yards away from goal, or you can also think about the movement in around the box, and that's why I think Johnny Rodriguez is one of, if not the best in USL Championship. The last minute, the timing to slash across is an individual marker, and to get on the blind side, much like Amang's goal early in this game, you didn't really have that cleverness and that maybe that cheekiness, so to say, from Cherie. More of a raw number 9, likes the physical battle. So how do you play into the hands of that?
Free kick turns into a corner kick here for Oakland, and see Miles at the end of that. Make some words with Chada, just on the same page. He thought there was a runner. There wasn't. Lack of communication leads to a chance now for Oakland. Diaz will deliver. Diaz, Hackshaw, twice now he's shaken free on the corner. Twice he's put it off target. Here comes a debut for Marcus Lee to replace Cameron Dunbar. Recently trialed for Orange County. Clearly impressed. The word and the scouting report is just a truly natural goal scorer. With a great feel for space up top. Still a teenager at 17. And a couple years removed now from becoming the youngest goal scorer in Open Cup history for Cal United Strikers. Got his teeth there with the Strikers, and Nisa It's his first run for Orange County. Graciano with it again, took a deflection, and again a needless one, this time from Chara, having words with his goalkeeper Colin Shuttler. So it's twice now in the span of a couple of minutes that Orange County has needlessly conceded a corner, and those are the moments that always oftentimes feel like they come back to bite you late in games. See if they can hold strong defensively again. They didn't last time. Actually wide open on the header, just put it off frame.
I was about to say, with the success that Hackshaw has been able to get free, he's going to be the intended target here for the Oakland Roots.
They go short, there's a lot of contact there. Right along the end line. Yeah, he's taken down. A free kick on the way. Marcus Lee, welcome to USL Championship. Here's your first yellow card a couple minutes into your debut. Now a closer corner kick essentially for Oakland. Right along the end line, just about 10 yards closer.
Bumps to Daniel here. I'm telling Memo Diaz, this is all me, and I'm putting a ball with a lot of pace and a lot of venom on a whip, aiming for right on that far post. With the traffic oncoming, can really throw off Shuttler. Any sort of touch is a nightmare for a goalkeeper here.
It is Cedeno, driven ball in, just like you asked for. Orange County holds strong. Rasmussen, secondary ball. Donaciano has it lined up, centers it. Cherie, saved off the line. Hackshaw. 3 chances for Hackshaw, 3 times off target. 3 moments that'll keep him up tonight, the captain of the Roots.
And sometimes it's not the initial ball that can hurt teams, it's the secondary action. As this ball rotates over, I do think if you're Donaciano, you have a clear path to goal to head it back across where it comes from. But just watch the shoulders of Hackshaw. His first touch lets him down, gets caught underneath him. So just by tendency, he's always going to be leaning back to get the right angle. Doing that, that goes up and over the crossbar. What a good opportunity that would have been for the Oakland Roots to steal one late in this match.
90 seconds of the 90 minutes remaining. First it was Cherie. It looked like it was going wide, but not taking any chances. Ashton Miles clearing it off the line. Fortunately for Oakland, right back to Hackshaw. Not meant to be. He scored last week against New Mexico again on that deflected shot. Alex Tambakis could do nothing about in goal after that deflection. 90th minute at Pioneer Stadium. Bryce Jamison wants to go. Almost got through. 18-year-old Jamison continues to impress every time he steps on the field. Just waiting again for that next assertive step from him to really announce himself, maybe in the same way that Corrêa Osundina did in the last couple of years for Orange County. Right, young player coming through the academy, youth internationals, now gone on to Europe, but he had that moment where it seemed like the switch flipped. I don't know if Jamison's had that yet. Player who made 4 appearances and a start last fall at the U17 World Cup. Now 18 years of age. 4 minutes tacked on at the end.
Granted, since the physical officials indicated there will be a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time in the second half.
Been a lot of that tonight from both teams, searching balls. Those searches led to no discoveries. Sordo, heavy touch, referee, heavy touch of his own. I think think if there was a theme to take away from this one tonight, Ricky, it's that a lot of sloppiness in the middle passage for both of these sides.
It hasn't been clean for either side.
Jamison could change that here. Striding past a handful of defenders. Out to Lee. Zubak holds his run, stays on side. Lee looking through, goes down. Tell you, a lot more contact there than what we saw given in the first half.
A bit of a glimpse of Lee, how quickly he can change his direction, the balance, and how comfortable he is on the ball. Two young players, him on this near side, Jameson on that far end. Nice little action to see this game out for Orange County as they're starting to find their footing in stoppage time here.
Sorto.
Moments like that, Sorto picks up this ball in a pocket of space. You have to look forward. That ball needs to be advanced in a more positive manner.
Jamison tracking it. Won't get there. Halfway through stoppage time.
Also comes down to body language and body position, how you receive the ball. Your hips are everything. If you play in the middle of the park, when you receive this ball with your hips facing forward, now you have the option to play into the path of your front three. As Sorto picks up this ball, he's facing already negatively.
Sorto. Scott. A time where you expect urgency and looking for a game-winning goal. It's back from Orange County. Now Oakland trying to pin them back. Maybe steal the points for themselves. Mafeka. Gagi. Diaz. Feeds Matsoso. Under a minute to play. Hackshaw. One of the quick 1-2, never got it back. Mafeka. Matsoso over the head of Hackshaw. Diaz strides through, keeps it alive. Denaciano for Cedeno. Matsoso. Cedeno. Might be the last opportunity here for Oakland. Rasmussen swings it in. Nodded down by Denaciano, cleared by Scott. Rasmussen searching for a ball kid, looking for a ball, pleading for it, finally gets it. Cedeno, one last thrust forward, brought down by Gagi! The hero! The center back wins it for Oakland!
What an ending this is for the Oakland Roots. As this ball gets pumped into the dangerous area, it's a lack of rotation once again. Chada and Miles not on the same page. The center back, you talk about composure. What's that about a first touch? Right into his path. Shuttler's a little bit slower off his line. Quality from Gagi. Get his first on the season, and more importantly, to give Oakland Roots the 3 points here at home.
Tell you what, for a center back that doesn't score all that much, he knows exactly where the camera is and celebrating after the fact. Orange County, I don't know if they have any time in this one. It was the absolute last second there. They'll try to send everybody forward now. Back to Shuttler. Everybody in orange running forward. Shuttler sends it long. Foul against Orange County. Oakland wanting the final whistle. Margalashvili had 21 goals across all of his professional stops over the last decade before Oakland. Big-bodied center back, gets involved in plenty in the attack, but hadn't yet scored for the Roots until tonight. And it looks like it'll be a winner at the absolute last second for the Roots.
It's going to be a frustrating one for Morgan Carlson because you look at how that goal's conceded. It's not X and O's, it's not tactic, it's communication and it's responsibility.
And there is the final whistle. Gavin Glinton gets his first win as the interim head coach of the Oakland Roots. And it's on a goal scored by Gagi Margvelashvili, his first in Roots Black and Mosaic. Final score brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross, and plenty to celebrate tonight for Oakland.
Fantastic ending. You see what it means for every single player in an Oakland Roots jersey. Fought till the end. It wasn't their best football, but they had the ability to grind out results, and that's so important. It's going to do a world of good for the confidence for the Oakland Roots.
Their first win since April 13th. Plenty to celebrate tonight at Pioneer Stadium. We come back in just a moment to wrap things up. Oakland 2, Orange County 1.
How can someone so cute be so complicated? Someone so grown up still have so much growing left to do. We know kids aren't mini adults. Their still developing bodies and minds need specialized care, including physicians and care teams who focus on treating kids and only kids, which is why from everyday to emergencies, kids belong at UCSF Benioff Children's Hospitals.
Eating a balanced diet and being physically active are two of the most important things you can do to be healthy at any age. Fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins can help control your weight and prevent heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Regular exercise can help boost your mood, digestion, and sleep. That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Oakland Roots encourage you to eat right and get active. For additional healthy tips, come visit us at oaklandrootssc.com/anthem.
Do you like getting cash back on your credit card? A free coffee when you fill your cafe's punch card? A complimentary dessert with your restaurant order? Then you'll like getting a 5% discount on your electricity with Ava Community Energy's Bright Choice service. Visit avaenergy.org to learn more about Ava's low rates for electricity.
Final score brought to you by BART. Oakland Roots and BART want to make sure you get home. Visit BART.gov/planner to plan your trip now. It'll be a happy trip home for these fans tonight at Pioneer Stadium at the absolute last moment. 90+5. Gagi Margvelashvili, the center back of all people, wins it for the Roots. We'll take you back through the entirety of tonight's highlights, starting in the early going, where both teams really struggled to find a rhythm, but the early chances belonged to Orange County, and the early goal did as well.
Just watch the center of the box. It's Amang. The last second, he peels off the blind side of Loeb. Create a separation as a number 9 in your movement to get away from your individual markers, everything. Really good header back across where it came from, low and hard. No chance for Paul the Wall.
And one thing that Gavin Glinton said in our chat this week is that a lot of the underlying metrics were still positive for this team. They were generating opportunities in the attack, and it's a matter of time before they were rewarded. They were rewarded here. Should have probably not been a penalty. Still given, still finished. And on the night, 2.45 expected goals for Oakland, 0.33 for Orange County. So big disparity there. So they earned it tonight, but it came at the absolute last second.
And they were the team that was putting a little bit more pressure on the opposition. Really good ball in from Cedeno. But you're looking at the center back and the left back, whether it's Miles, whether it's Shada, the lack of rotation, lack of communication, the misjudge of this ball. We'll take nothing away from the center back, Gagi. It's a first touch that sets him up for success. As Shuttler has a little bit of hesitation, Gagi says thank you very much, off to the corner to celebrate, because all 3 points are staying in Oakland tonight.
Some of the out-of-town scores brought to you by Visit Oakland. Get out on the town and visit Oakland to explore arts, culture, and world-class cuisine. Two that stick out, the next two opponents for these two teams. Oakland plays Tulsa on Friday. They lost 5-0 to Tampa Bay. Orange County plays Loudoun, coming off a 3-0 win over Monterey Bay.
And you look at what's gone on in the USL Championship, even in the 11, they're turning a corner with Hartford Athletic. Big head scratchers as they lose yet again 4-1. Pittsburgh dropped points at home. That's not like Bob Lilly and company, and like you said, Monterey Bay, Frank Yallop, a lot to think about. Not the best performance, and they drop points on the road at Loudoun United. Phoenix Rising and Las Vegas Lights still to play.
You got plenty to flip over to if you're sitting here on ESPN Plus. Last 15 minutes of Vegas and Louisville, or you could switch over to Golasso Network for the last 15 minutes of Phoenix and Miami. But that'll do it for us tonight from Pioneer Stadium. It was a wild one in the end. The Roots get their first win in a month. It's the first win under Gavin Glinton on the first goal by Gagi. A night to maybe springboard this Roots team forward, and back-to-back losses for Orange County. My broadcast partner Ricky Lopez-Espin and the crew that makes this possible. I'm Joe Malfa saying so long for now. Oakland takes it 2-1. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.